All right. How Red Bull makes money by athletic interest. Please consider liking and subscribing if you like reaction videos. We'll go in. We're gonna look at this. Interesting. I have no idea how they make money, but I guess, it's like the weird question, right? They sell Red Bull, right? They sell an energy drink. I'm like, how do they make money? Well, they sell an energy drink. At least that is what I am assuming, right? Then again, to be honest, I don't drink any energy drinks at all. My energy drink is coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. I drink like 4 to 5 currently. I am grinding that coffee machine. Maybe I'm gonna attempt the world record or something. Yeah, well, let's just see. This was recommended ages ago, but it's like sweet and short, so it is maybe worth looking at it. Let's just go in. Let's just see.
In 2019, Red Bull sold 1 can for almost every person on the planet.
Interesting. 1 can for almost every person. So they don't. Maybe they probably already have. See, I have had Red Bull here and there, right, quite a while. But in general, right, I don't drink energy drinks. I think like the only energy drink that I drink is like from a popular German streamer. But that's about it. I don't really drink any energy drinks, so this is interesting to see. I know there's like people who literally collect like energy drink cans, right, and then stack them up, right? There's literally people who farm those.
But besides selling 7.5 billion cans
7.5 billion cans, that's a lot
of a very sweet drink, they also run 2 Formula 1 teams, 5 professional.
True, I forgot about that, right? 2 Formula 1. True. I mean, they sponsor also quite a few people, right? They sponsor quite a lot.
Football clubs and 1 ice hockey team. Not mentioning events like the Crashed Ice Challenge or the Wings for Life run. The thousands of athletes that Red Bull sponsors and the media production they run. Obviously, Red Bull does much more than selling an energy drink. But is all that just marketing?
Now I'm genuinely curious, how much money do they actually make? Like, how much money do they actually get out of?
In the summer of 1982, the Austrian businessman Dietrich Mateschitz found himself suffering.
Dietrich Mateschitz. Yeah, that's an Austrian name. That's an Austrian name. Neighbors. My neighbors, because I'm German.
From jet lag during a business trip to Thailand. He tried a local drink called Krating Deng, which improved his jet lag substantially. Krating Deng can be translated to red gaur, a gaur being a huge bison from Southeast Asia. So it basically means Red
So, wow. So that's where the name came from? It basically meant Red Bull?
Bull. Inspired by the magical qualities of the product, Mateschitz decided to bring the product home in the format of a brand new product category, the energy drink. He pitched his idea several times to Western investors, but got turned down because they didn't see a market for the product outside of Asia. Mateschitz.
True, it's also like, right, you'd have to, at that point, right, you'd have to, because it's caffeine, right, at the end of the day, you'd have to compete probably with coffee, which was much more established. I think Red Bull and like energy drinks really just became popular with younger generations, right?
Was well aware that there was no market at the time, so he decided to create one. He was so convinced of his product that he invested $500,000 himself. He then teamed up with the boss of the Krating Deng manufacturer, who also invested $500,000 for the other half of the company. Next, Mateschitz adapted.
So basically, Red Bull's origins lie in Asia. I did not know that. That's quite surprising.
The formula and flavor for the European market and successfully launched the product in Austria in 1987. Because the drink was initially banned in Germany, Red Bull profited from the...
Of course, it's Germany. No! Shit. Yeah, true, yeah.
Reputation as an outlaw brand. Many young Germans would cross the border to Austria to buy the banned energy drink, and Red Bull sold over 1 million cans in their first year. From Austria, it quickly spread across Europe, first to Slovakia and Hungary in 1992, and then to Germany and the UK in 94. When they entered the US market 3 years later, Red Bull was selling over 1 million cans every day.
Damn. But then, like, others also seem to be very successful, right? Like, Monster seems to be very successful.
Soft drink giants like Coke and Pepsi could benefit from deeper pockets, but they underestimated the strategic intent of Mateschitz and the upcoming brand. He created a new species of corporation that focuses only on the downstream activities of the value chain, while outsourcing operations such as production and logistics. That means that Red Bull itself is actually not producing the drink. Production and filling of the cans is completely outsourced. So Red Bull...
Interesting, so Red Bull just sells them. Right, Red Bull. Who is the one making them then?
Bull can fully commit its resources to selling the drink. Looking at the profit margin, that pays off. One of Red Bull's secrets to success is that they can charge a much higher price than their competitors. Red Bull makes each can for approximately 9 cents. The suggested retail price for a can is $3.59.
Well, I went into the supermarket today and it was like 139 euros? That's kind of crazy. That's like still a huge difference. What the fuck?
The biggest customers like Walmart and big grocery
Like fucking 9 cents is crazy work.
stores pay between $44 and $48 per case of 24 cans. That means $1.87 per can, which is more than 20 times the cost of production. To create a market for his product, Mateschitz first focused on the club scene. It's really hard to imagine a student party without several packs of Red Bull on hand, since the company actively...
Well, it's also that a lot of people just like use Red Bull to mix drinks. Usually mess up though, and it's a lot more alcohol than it is Red Bull, which makes it taste really bad.
made use of student brand managers. Brand managers were popular university students and
Of course, you target the younger generation because, you know, it is something that the older generation wouldn't really drink, right? That makes sense.
encouraged to promote Red Bull on university campuses and to throw parties at different locations, supplied entirely by Red Bull. Volkswagen Beetles with larger-than-life Red Bull cans strapped to their backs showed up at beaches, at colleges, gyms, and even office buildings with free samples. Bartenders quickly learned that this new drink was a money machine. It is likely that you have at least once tasted a Red Bull mixed with vodka or Jäger, since the mixes became
Well, yeah. To be fair, I don't drink alcohol, so I wouldn't know what that tastes like. I just know that you can fuck this up quite a bit. That's all I know.
two of the most popular drinks in bars everywhere. Soon, the beverage was sold at nightclubs and festivals around the world, creating a competitive advantage for the
Short name is Vodka Bull. It just is.
Austrian brand. But this was only the beginning of the Red Bull marketing machine. Through sponsorship and ownership of sports teams, Red Bull continuously engages with the customer in a deeper way than traditional advertising ever could. This allows its customers to feel active and intense by drinking from a can that bears the same logo as a Formula One car, a skate.
Yeah, it's like everywhere, right? Red Bull is plastered just everywhere. So it does make sense, right? It's like tied to you, maybe to your favorite sports team, maybe to your favorite racer, whatever, right? It's tied to something that you like.
And a record-breaking parachute. Instead of sober storytelling, Red Bull employs story performing. They don't do conventional marketing or try to look for stories to be a
And well, then you also have like those comics, right? Right? Those comics that they do and use as ads. I don't know if he's going to bring those up, but those are also a thing.
associated with. They create their own stories and produce the content with their own media house. That means they hold the rights to all pictures of their events. With social media, this results in viral communication effects that drastically improve the return on marketing. The ultimate example for Red Bull's story performing was Felix Baumgartner jumping from space in 2012. The project
Unfortunately has passed away due to an accident
cost Red Bull an
while doing crazy stuff like this.
impressive $50 million, but some experts estimated the global reporting about the event to be worth approximately $6 billion.
That's a lot of money. That is lots of money.
So it was probably worth it. Both sponsoring extreme sporting events like this and selling products with an edge enables Red Bull to remain the market leader in its category. In 2019, they sold 7.5 billion cans, which helped create a revenue of over $6 billion US. To reach that much revenue, they spent almost a third on marketing. But despite the huge marketing budget, the revenue growth of Red Bull slowed down since 2012. The company is depending almost completely on one product only.
Well, it does make sense, right? Right, and also like the other like competitors, like there's a billion energy drinks now out there, and I do feel like Monster has been quite stuck, especially with Gen Z, with Zoomers.
Energy drink. This limits its growth and can eventually become a big risk. Especially with a growing awareness for health and nutrition, the focus on a product that causes obesity, insomnia and diabetes might backfire eventually. Investments in sport teams and media production are therefore not only marketing activities, but the attempt to diversify and create additional value chains next to the can business. To implement sport as a business, Red Bull takes advantage of a fully integrated entertainment and media value chain that ranges from media production to team ownerships, broadcasting arrangements and contract management. One example how that strategy can work are Red Bull's football teams. Owning more than one club gives them the opportunity to use synergies, for example when developing talent. A player can potentially start his career in Brazil, move to Europe to play in the smaller Austrian league for Salzburg, and eventually join Red Bull Leipzig when he is ready to play in the Champions League.
Yeah, interesting. That's very cool. That is very cool. They can very much basically train their own players that way.
At the end of his career, he might move to the New York Bulls to spend the last years in the Major League Soccer. The team in New York is also a good example how private equity in sports can generate value for Red Bull. They purchased the team for an estimated $25 million in 2006. According to Forbes, the team is now worth $290 million. So Red Bull was
That is a lot of increase. That's over 10 times. Wow.
able to tenfold their investment. And with the US soccer market on the rise, the price for a franchise in New York City will most likely soar in the future. Nevertheless, the overwhelming revenue driver to this day remains beverage sales, representing approximately 97%
97% of their all their revenue is made through the can. That's kind of impressive.
of the total earnings. Red Bull mentions the other activities as ongoing brand investment, which indicates that these are losses, not revenue streams. At least, not yet.
Very interesting to see. That is very interesting to see. I did not know that. I did genuinely not know that. That is so cool. Okay. Okay, that means Red Bull makes their money basically through most of it through the cans, right? Through most of it through the drink. It has its origins. Well, it is made by a Austrian, but has its origins in Asia. They invest in sports a lot. They own 4 sports team, 1 hockey team, I think, and 2 Formula 1 teams or cars or whatever, drivers, whatever. That's very interesting. And they are essentially even producing their own media in-house, right? And sponsoring extreme events like Felix Baumgartner. Very interesting. I did not know how deep it goes, right? I know like that like Red Bull is plastered everywhere, right? I think we can tell that Red Bull is plastered everywhere. I think we're not blind out here. But very interesting. I did not know that. But anyways, thank you for watching, guys. Please consider liking, subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.